Going live in 3, 2, 1. We're live.
The camera's still pointed down.
Yeah, I know. You're in there.
I know.
You're a little bit. You know what? I'm not going to cut you off like that.
Feels like it's at my right hip.
I'm not going to do that to you.
Strong hip.
Now you're definitely in.
All right.
Now there's no cutting off.
Sweet. Welcome back to another Overthrow Disc Golf Patreon form review live stream. Today we've got 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 15. Just a little housekeeping here. Coming up in, I keep trying to say Wilkesboro, but it's not Wilkesboro. It's Watkinson. Where are we going? Yeah. Hold on. It's Wilkesboro. Wilkins. Where are we going, Corey? Wait. Oh, Wilmington. Got it.
There it is.
Wilmington, North Carolina. On the 3rd. We're teaching a clinic there. You can go to Throw Coast on Instagram. You can just look them up. I think there are only like 10 spots left. So if you're in the southeastern North Carolina space and you want to hop in, Throw Coast on Instagram, you can go to their page. They have a link in their bio there. There's also going to be a Q&A later that evening. So, or a meet and greet or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, all right. Without further ado, we shall begin. Oh, where should we start? Let me know if you're here. Other than that, I'm going to start with Fred. Yeah, I'm going to start with Fred. Fred. Oh, never mind. Jinx Photon.
Yeah.
Is here. Whoa. This looks cool.
I was going to say frame.
Looks like a nice field. Well, he's got his marker there. He knows where the edge of his frame is at. He's edged his frame with marker and bag.
It's good.
That's a pro move right there. Was it foot fault? No, this is already out, right? Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Disc is out. That'd be some... Never mind, I won't say it. We had a recent incident like that on the Pro Tour against Big Money Missy. Same scenario. Okay. So, sweet. Yeah, well, you'll be happy to know that I wasn't going to mention anything about the footwork, so it must have worked. So, you're missing the last, like, I don't know, 33% of your coil here. So you are angled away from us a little bit, but you're coiling. You see your right arm moving back here. Boom, 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 boom. Right, and now your left arm's already trying to sneak in, and your right hip's trying to open up already. We might clean up the footwork a little later, but we'll let it settle in for now and see what happens with getting the rest of this coil. Yeah, you want to take this left shoulder and really make sure that you get that target word the rest of the way. So, because your right's going back about as far as it can. I think you just need a little more with the left, which will help you get there. Oh my goodness, this chair. Yeah. Just gonna peek the footwork just one more time. Yeah, so actually I'm gonna go a little detailed on the footwork here, but first for the coil, we wanna make sure that during this time, you're here, your right shoulder's moving back, right? But we wanna take this left shoulder and move it toward the target and allow that to take this front hip, move it back for you. There. Right, and then detail on the footwork. Once you get through this cross step right here, don't let your weight go back to your heel on this foot. I'll show you that frame. Here. See how you're kind of sitting back? Try to keep it kind of on the front part of the foot. Like here. Wow. Balance. Let me try again. I need to get back on my Bosu ball. Yeah, so in order to kind of combat that, you just want to focus. Trying to stay on this part of the foot. Right, if possible. Which it is, I think. So, get that shoulder all the way back, left shoulder all the way back. You still got another, like, I don't know, 30 degrees of coil probably in your upper body that you can get, which will be nice. Footwork's coming along. Just that little detail right here. Let it roll kind of to the inside of the foot. Howdy. Oh, there they all. They made it. John? I gotcha.
There's one more, by the way.
What do you mean?
I apparently missed one as well,
Oh no.
but it was a combined effort. Not you, with me and this person. But he's been working on the drill.
Ba-da-dee-da-da. The drill? What drill?
The throwing backwards one.
Ah. Okay. So I like the start. I like this position here. To start. This is usually the way I would have most people start. The issue from here is that you like row your arm down and the elbow down to the side. Right, pulling your palm up a bit, which is going to have you repress, like reflip like that, which is going to give you that nose up release there. Right, so that little press motion into it, that pronation we would call. So I would work first on disc path. Really work on taking the disc from where you started with it. Curl it up. Sometimes I call this tickling the armpit, right? Because that's kind of where it feels like. You want to curl it up, get your hand all the way into the armpit. Through here. And make sure the disc is going through your elbow. right? So we're trying to take it straight through. Obviously, you're going to get curled up. I'll show you like an underneath view, I guess. Or how about on top? That's better. So it would be through the elbow, right? And it's going to get curled up as it goes through. But make sure it goes there. Make sure your elbow's not dropping, which would put your disc up above your elbow. Right? And this is not as much of a problem if it's here, but let's just try to go straight through. So we want to go through this curl into this uncurl. So kind of a high elbow, not a low like gut check, but nice and high in the chest. Quiet down the body, long swing with the hand was my instruction. Yep. So here, get it through the elbow instead of down. Yes. Yep. And on the quieting the body front, I would try to kind of lock your hips in place almost. You can have this pivot at the end, perfectly healthy, so I'm not saying get rid of that. But from back here, we're going to work on two things. One, that we just talked about, hand through the armpit, so a throw looks like this. Straight through. Another way of saying that is hand stays on the outside of the disc the whole time. That's here. And then it comes out late. Other thing is try to keep the hips in place here. So when we're back here, actually don't have the hips rotate forward like this. Lock the hips here. Now through the armpit, keeping the hips in place. And then we can let the arm pull the hips open at the end. So here's the more natural version where I'm picking up tempo closer to a throwing tempo. Okay, coil, freezing the hips, but I'm going to throw. So maybe I'll give it a little bit of a rock here. This little momentum is fine. Freeze the hips. And then at the end, they're able to come around. But yeah. Twist again. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, essentially it is bracing, which is just about the hardest thing I think a lot of people will do across any sport. Sweet. Thank you. All right, who's next?
I think anyone's in the queue.
The queue. The queue, boy.
Wait, is there a patty?
I don't know, but find
I
out.
remember putting in a patty.
Yep, it's here.
Good. We like to hear.
Wow, look at these trees. This feels very European.
It does.
Feels very German.
Mm. Yeah.
Norway. I was very not close.
Wow. Take that.
At least, I mean, I was on the correct continent.
Don't let me, I'm grabbing a spoon. Gonna eat my snack.
Norway. Hey, we will be on that same continent
Soon.
soon. But we're going to Finland. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. So your coil, even though it looks far enough, it is far enough in terms of upper body, but the lower body here, you see this front knee, this front leg, is going to start opening like this. Notice how this part of your body is not pinched. Right, then once we start opening that, and your hips go here, so now we've got displayed like that, outward since that front side opened. It's ruined a bit of your coil. Lefty. So first, I'd like to see the posture a bit more over it here, like this, not so upright with the lower body. The legs can be bent and you can have bad disc golf posture by standing up. So we need here, like that. Okay. So here, now once we go through this cross step and we're on our right foot, now when we turn, we have to let this turn back as well for the whole final step. So from here, it's got to turn until your entire foot is down, not just the toe, but the entire foot. So here, turn the shoulders and let this turn back so that your butt's facing forward. Okay. And what you should see with that is that now your knees are kind of inward a little bit, right? Instead of, if we turn this counterclockwise, so we open this, now the knees are facing outward a bit, right? Hey, I could be a lefty. I will unite with you guys here, okay? If you want, you can stand up where you're at. You're probably not working because, well, maybe you are. It's only like 5 o'clock over there. No, you probably just got off. And feel that. And confirm with me, yes, I feel that. Yes, my knees are more in towards one another. I can throw 57 with my left hand if I decide to sacrifice my arm health. Mikey's got a little bit more than that. What was your fastest with your lefty, Mikey?
Oh wow.
It was 60 something.
Yeah, it was like 65 probably.
Yeah, I think it was.
It hurt.
Yeah, it's crazy. It'll teach you that your arm's not totally ready for that, apparently. Lots of stuff that we take for granted with our dominant arm. Will fixing this affect how I release the disc as well? Hopefully. Hopefully in a good way. It might come out on a little bit more hyzer if your posture is a bit better, but it's not necessarily a problem. Because when you have more coil, you have more oomph, and it'll help you. I have issues with nose up sometimes. I was going to say, it helps get in a position where it's much easier to work on nose angle. The position that you're in right now, with the standing up, with the uncoiling, is very level with the arm, which is very hard to throw nose down when it's up high like this, versus when you're over the shot, good coil, this left shoulder's dropped, and then you go up. It's much easier to turn the nose down in that situation. So, yeah. Yeah, I had a student last week. We literally just fixed that position for him. Well, no, we didn't just fix that position, but we fixed that position. I gave him a very simple cue, and then he was throwing nose down consistently. It's like, wow, okay, it's nice. So, yeah. So it certainly helps. It's kind of a prerequisite for nose angle. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-dee-dum. Okay, so really quick little detail here. You're kind of stilting, you're kind of like peg-legged on that heel. Just kind of unnaturally on that heel. So people who hit the heel here, usually they kind of like this walk step where you roll from heel to toe. It's not so laid back, like away from the shot. Right now, you're kind of like this is what it feels like. Yeah, and when you get laid back like that, it's really easy to have this X step go too far back. Yeah, which this is too far back. By the time your weight's on your left foot, you're already here. So to get from here to full coil is going to take 2 seconds. Well, I guess I can't use 2 seconds. It's going to take no time. Right, so now you have to spend the rest of this time just literally waiting. And your body's like, nope, I'm going. Waited long enough. Right, so this footwork needs to be this. Yeah, so if you go, like, let's say we did these. So the footwork needs to be this. Here, here, here. That's the footwork, right? Here, here, here. Just a nice, simple crossover, right? We're not doing the turning or anything right now. It's just this. Okay. So here, here, here. Now, if you try to do the same thing, but you try to do it all on your heels, right? You're going to feel what I see, which is if you go heels, automatically, in order to keep any semblance of balance through here, my foot wants to turn back and my hip wants to go backwards because I'm heelward. So I've got no control over the position on my heel. So, but if you just think about the motion of, okay, I'm just going to do this. Generally, people are going to do that on their toes, right? Or rolling over the feet like this. Like roll there, and then I'm gonna roll here, and then roll onto this foot, right? Versus roll like toe to heel. So anyways, this move right here is what you want. You should be able to do that without coiling for sure, right? And then all we do is we add the coil into that, and it's just a matter of timing when you add the coil in. So the coil gets added in once this right foot lifts. And now you have, because my chest is here, right? So now I have all this time to coil versus where you were at, which was, whoops, here, already back, right before my right foot even comes up. And then my body's just like, what are we supposed to do during this step? Well, we could just wait, right? But that's pretty tough. Body gets impatient. So yours decides, well, that's kind of boring. Why don't I start moving forward instead? Which is the wrong move. So, right, left, then turn. So.
Should have like a clapping sound effect or something after each review.
Yes. Anything about my arms? Not at the moment. You're basically doing the best you can with your arms until your footwork. Yeah, until your footwork helps not open up early. Right? So if you're opening up here, well, that's going to open up here, which is attached to your left arm, right? Which is just going to free spin around the whole time. Right? There's no stop because, well, because of the X step, you decided to send the whole backside of your body, start uncoiling during the final step. So, no, there's nothing with the upper body yet. Let's see what happens when you fix the footwork. Your upper body might be way better, even. So. Yes. Jess. Okay. Who else is here?
Quol.
Who be here? Quol. Quol. Quol, why am I doing this now? Aren't I going to see you on Friday? Maybe I will. Oh, it's putting.
Thought that was going to be his warm-up.
Fakes you out. Boom. This man doesn't need a pump. Oh!
Yeah.
How cinematic. This guy's trying to take our job. Your job.
It's like, oh my god, imagine if he had like an ad in the basket. That'd be the best ad ever.
Disc dots. So you can miss.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually the next commercial idea.
What's wrong with your putt?
He hits cameras instead of chain.
C. Fraser Music. I've got your messages. Well, I haven't read them yet because I treat it like email, but it's on my to-do list. I forget where, but you're in like Tennessee, aren't you? Anyways, I've got your messages. But lessons scheduled. If you actually want to schedule a lesson, it's through our Patreon, which would be way better than Facebook Messenger, honestly, because I just never check it. But the Patreon link's in the description below, or patreon.com/overthrow-disc-golf. I mean,
No, that's funny. He said, to be honest, I don't know what's wrong with my putting. Just wanted to see if he knows anything wrong. This is the best scenario.
right,
It looks good to me.
right. It looks fine. You got a good line. You've got a clean release. Nice little spin putt. There's stuff that I could see potentially going wrong with it, but I'm not going to put that in your head. Because the fact of the matter is nothing went wrong with this putt. You just hit your phone. Oh, you got a little spin in there.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely not a push putter. But if in your mind you think you're a push putter and that's the cue that gets you to do this, then by golly, you're a push putter. I also used to think I was like a push putter, and then I took a cue from Paul. And it broke me. I was like, oh, I'm the same type of putter as Paul. I was not. I was doing something probably way closer to what you're doing right here, actually. Now your putt looks fine. I'm not touching this. But if when I see you on Friday, then and we start seeing stuff break, then I'll look at it.
It's a fun video.
It was a fun video.
I liked it. Sounds good, bots.
Sounds good, bot.
Sounds good, bots.
Yep.
He succeeded.
It worked. Okay, next. Who is here? Where's the rest of the queue people? Come on now.
There ain't no cue.
Okay, well, we're about to get into the next person here. Oh, let me poke. Poke. Ba-doo. Ah! Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to Charles Willard. Whoa.
Florida.
Yeah, tell me you live in Florida without telling me you live in Florida.
Like come standard in all Florida homes.
I mean, this is one of the nicer ones
That's true.
that I've seen, that's for sure.
I got a hot tub and a little runoff.
Oh, bro, what?
You got a rubber duck.
I bet you that's like a chemical
Yeah.
thingy. Dispenser. Rubber ducky or the one. You make pool time lots of fun. Shuffle, shuffle. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Rise it up. Yep. Okay, we gotta get the coil here. It's making a big difference. That's a Florida man right there. Florida man owns the largest rubber duck you've ever seen. Okay, so from here, you're just moving your arm back and not maintaining space here. So you're going to have to end up going around. We want to take this and turn the whole core. Here, turn. So it's a whole body move backwards, right here. We want to get over the shot a little bit, get your posture, don't hang back so much. Right? And then in place, so we want to keep the head basically in place and turn our belly button back, basically, right? Right, so that's this part here. We want to avoid shifting this head back over this back foot like this, so we don't want to go whoo, like this, because then we're gonna have to bring the head forward again, and it takes a lot of wasted energy for your body. So here, turn. And then with that, you should have all of this space back here where your biceps not even close to your chest, right? Versus here, like in this picture, you see. It's kind of back. Let this shoulder turn away from the target. Let your left shoulder go towards the target, right? Both knees. So right shoulder's going back, left shoulder's going forward, right? Both are going together. Here. Centered coil. Right, that's also going to change the orientation of your front foot. So instead of here where you're stepping forward and turning this foot forward, we're going to let the hips turn back a little bit, right, which is going to turn this foot in. So then we get in this position where it's almost like we're going to, tackle somebody, I guess, like drop the lead shoulder, right, just plow them over, except we're not going to go like this, but it's kind of that position there. That's what we're looking for. Rising up onto my time, to my chances. Dum, dum. When the distance. Those guys can actually slay a song. It's very hard to sing like that. Okay. We're just going through people now. Japers. Bum, 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 bum. Everybody gets their own little jingle based on their rhythm today. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Now, is this the normal Japers, or is this like he sent us his buddy's form or something? For For some reason, this person does not look familiar, though Japers sounds familiar.
A long time since I've seen Japers.
I feel like I just did him the last form review or two.
No. But your mom does.
Probably does. So, the coil. We're talking a lot about coil today. I mean, there's not that many pieces of the disc golf throw, honestly, so good chance for the coil to come up. Coil, next step. You could keep going. You could keep coiling back and not standing up. Right, so right here, this crouch position that you have is a great little crouch position. You kind of settled in here, and then watch the stand up as we go. So you've got all that space there, and then now you've slowly shifted to standing up a lot more. Right, I would love to see you stay in this position. And when you coil, so you're going to maintain that over it position when you coil. Keep getting what you can out of that core, out of that shoulder. Keep going the extra bit. Coil even more. Try to make it so that you coil the entire time. Right, and then even after your foot hits. If after your foot hit, you could coil, like, you should do it. It's not really going to happen, but you should go for it. Right, so there, get all the way there. Now, it's going to feel like, when you do that, I think if you kept going the way that you were going with your backswing, see how you had this stand up in the body and your shoulder is like swinging up a little bit. Right, so it's swinging up kind of unnecessarily. Here, and it's going to feel like a very low reach back to you probably, right? Because if this comes back up like level, you stand up and now both your shoulders are level, you're going to take your arm and lift it, which you don't need, right? Wherever it is going to come through the pocket, it's just going to stay there, right? So this height, like here, whoop, roughly, right? So just kind of here for you, right? So my elbow is not going to, like, on my backswing, it's not going to be like sternum height and then lift up to my shoulders, up to my collarbone, right? It's just going to stay this height, right? And so if I was totally upright back here, it would be about here. But since I'm here, no lifting puts me there. Lifting the shoulder would put me here. Which would be a little too high, and then you'd end up dropping into it a bit. So it's probably going to feel really low when you get this full coil there. So versus that slight lift there, really kind of hard to see, but you can see based off starting position here, which is just an opening, versus here, which is an opening and a lift. Right, just that difference. So it looks like if you kept coiling, you would continue lifting, which would put you in a bad position. So I think we're going to try to get even more coil with like let this turn, let the shoulders turn extra bit, And we're just going to kind of monitor this hand position, make sure that it's not lifting up here, which would make other adjustments a little more difficult. Not undoable, or not like undoable. Undoable. My brain doesn't like that. Not impossible to do, but would make it a little harder. Kemhoff, here, sweet. Any risk injury in a deep coil? I mean, if you're getting injured doing a deep coil, then I'd say that there is injury for risk for you, obviously. But depends on where you put force and stuff like that. You're more prone to injury on the edges of your range. So if you try to go in a deep coil and you're like cranking your hips or like your lower back or something forward, yeah, it's going to hurt more than if you do the same thing with less coil. So, yeah. 'Tis my thoughts. Okay, Cam. Dr. Hoff. How long are you going to let your hair go?
Samson, dude.
Oh, Samson, well, that would be... You would hopefully not make the same mistake he made.
Exactly. He's trying to not cut it. He just broke 500 feet. You think he's cutting that hair?
Well, what if it would help his lefty get to 500 feet?
Kind of like his hair like that. Kind of reminds me of the whip. Kind of reminds me of the kinetic chain.
Yeah. Interesting the wobble you have off of there. I know you have your...
I'm responding to Charles.
Ah. Yeah, it's interesting the like here you're supinating and then you're pronating actually a little bit into the hit. So I think you're actually pronating a bit early. I know some people pronate in the follow through, but this looks like a little bit earlier than that. Huh? Does your tech disc say that his nose down? Well, it doesn't look nose up, does it? It's hard to say because there's so much wobble. Mm-hmm. 2 to 3, positive. Yeah, it's just that little bit of pronation at the end there, I think. Other than that, your sequencing could be a bit better. You're still getting kind of squishy on this front leg until here. Still planting here, right? And then I think you can actually, I think you pinch the pocket here a bit. Yeah, because of this move right here. Here. Yeah. I think so. I think you can squeeze a little bit extra out there with this right shoulder, more targetward. And you can do a little bit better job of maintaining the space, the tension up here early on to avoid that collapse. And of course, I would think that you're trying to get your pocket a bit deeper. Yeah. But maybe the low-hanging fruit is the orientation of the hand coming through. Don't pronate into it. And a bit more coil to start off. Get your space in the backswing before you send the hand through. Lefty is tough. Mikey's got his max like 65. Mine, when I tried it, was like 57, but it hurt. It was not a pretty.
To be fair, my lefty hurt no matter how hard I threw it. Even when I threw it like 50 something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just when it like rips out of your hand, that's what did it for me. It was like
it was all tangly.
Yeah.
Yes. You know?
Yeah, the shock feeling. Exactly. It's like, oh, that's inside of my arm. I was like,
you described it exactly.
Yeah. It's like when you pull out one of those little fake like bubblegum things. Yeah. I think the arm's just not like ready to take that force, because this is the thing that Mikey and I were talking about, or like Mikey was saying, he's like, well, it's good to know that like the form cues or the like form work and the thoughts and the things that you teach on the right hand side, right, work for lefty. Like it can get your lefty up to speed pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Like it took a long time for my righty to get to 57, and now it's like, what? Like trying for one session, and I got the lefty up to 57 just with the right cues. So it's helpful. Kind of validates the teaching a little bit. Oh, he was up next anyways. Yeah. Well, I didn't get to the point where I felt like, do I need medical attention? I was like, I'm going to stop now because I will need medical attention, or just not use my left. Right. So I'd have to like really work on it. I can't imagine like the journey to 400 lefty would just be like time. Yeah, that move's killing you right there. So you're using your left hand to keep your elbow up. But here you drop your hand back down towards this, like, if this is a clock face here, you drop it back down towards this, like, 3 o'clock position, which is totally ruining everything you worked for. Like right there, with it dropping down like that, there's just no tension left at this point, and your body's moving forward. And so now your hand has to re-whip or re-tighten, and it looks kind of like that. So I think we talked about this a good bit last time, but so when you get back here, right, again, I'm going to use this kind of clock face from behind here. If your hand's down at this 3 o'clock position, that's obviously the position you were out of. You were at about this, 1 o'clock-ish position. It should probably be somewhere around 1. Right, so here. And then it needs to stay there. So you can't start moving forward and then drop it here again, because now you lost all the tension that you created before by setting it up in this position. The point of this position is so that when you leave it here, there's nowhere left for the arm to go. There's nowhere left for it really to stretch. By the time the body starts moving forward and starts pulling it, the slack's gone. So every little move with the body automatically moves it forward. Right? And if you're over the shot well enough and the slack's gone, it looks like this. Right? So now it's automatically moving forward. When you crank back down like this, so you're here and then you go pump back down, now the body's moving forward and now it's from here and your body's already come here. So now you got to go, well shoot, I can't throw it straight into the dirt from here. Let me drop this real quick. And so you have to roll your arm like this and throw nose up, right, to get the thing to go forward. So you had the correct position here. Maintain the position. So it goes hands apart, right, and they're in this like 1 o'clock-ish position. Hands apart, 1 o'clock. And then you can do whatever you want basically from there. I mean, you could walk up. You can go hands apart. Don't recommend it, but you're loaded at that point. Right? So get in the load position. Don't unload. Move forward and hope that it's going to load back again, or force yourself to load it just with the arm after that. We want to go hands apart into the load. So, right, you can think of it almost as both hands like separating into this position, right? But we do it usually with here, and then keep it there. So that the only move left is forward. No other move. Loaded, body goes. And now the hand can go straight forward. Yeah, and this position right here is fine. If you just kept that with the right arm. I don't like the left dropping so much. I'd like the left to be up. I'd like to be some sort of framework of this L. Right? Disc golf, it seems like instead of the baseball or the tennis L shape that we have here, we go with this for whatever reason. Some people do have it straight, but some version of this, like that. That elbow needs to be up roughly around 90, maybe a little less, but up roughly around 90. And then just keep it there. Yeah, you're getting antsy with the hand, and you're moving, you're like lifting the elbow there and dropping the hand. So just get the elbow in position early. Keep the hand up around that 1 o'clock position, and then go for it. Is that why I'm, yeah, I mean, I can't and I won't verify that that's why you are getting shoulder pain, but I'll just say I can imagine that if I was here and I had to go like this and snap it back and forth, once you get to this snap, it's very whiplashy, right? So that's seems to be a lot more force on the shoulder than if it was here and then it just had to stretch forward, right? It went from, okay, basically all the way stretched, and then you had just a little bit left versus a, right? If you went whoop, boom, versus with a rubber band, seems like the one where you go and snap real hard and change direction real quick, that one's going to hurt more. That's kind of a general rule in sports. don't change direction quickly on things, especially things involving joints. So, yeah.
You said for him not to drop his left arm. What would you say is a good thing to do with his left arm?
Keep it up.
Demonstrate, because I think I do the same thing. I drop my arm immediately on my.
So the left arm, we're going to separate the arms.
Yeah.
The left is going to stay here.
Right.
Not here.
Rose, he drops it.
If you can tuck it, right? Tucking is different. Here, he's still in the load phase. He's dropped it before that.
Oh, you're saying.
See how low it is?
You're saying there he's gonna start dropping.
Here, yeah, here it's low already, right? You don't do your forehand like this. It's here.
Okay, I got you. Okay, all good. I was trying to figure out if it was like after he threw, he dropped, or you're saying he dropped before.
Before.
Like there.
Here, yeah, the tuck, yeah, you can, here, then he goes back into extension, right? He goes with his right, he gets into the final position like here. This is almost like the correct position if it was earlier in the sequence, except for this move here, where he swings the hand forward. Like if he's in this position early, he's good.
Left arm, right.
Yeah. So if you were here, this is fine. But you can't go pump forward, down with this right hand. You don't want it to be chunk, right? It just needs to be here, forward. And then he can do the left arm tuck like he's doing. Always try to keep my forehand on the same plane rather than... Yeah, the plane, you'll see guys here, right? They're usually up like this, right? And the body moving pulls it onto that level plane, right? But it only stretches it further back, right? So it's fine if it's here. If it's high, this doesn't mean you're going to throw a roller, right? If you're here. Because you're going to come through with the body, which will lay this back, and now I'm good to go. I've been trying to tighten the right arm to keep it in place so it doesn't straighten out. I would just try to get it towards that range of end of that like external range of motion, towards that like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock position. Just keep it there. Okay, that was a long time on a very...
I was trying to get clarification on the left
Yeah.
for me, which is selfish.
Fun fact, that's our next video.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I was going to ask it anyway, then. It's looking it out of the way.
Okay, who's next? Nobody.
Nobody.
Then I pick. Roger. Jacko. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum bum. Okay. 1, rhythm. 2, coil. Boom, boom. So, bum, 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 bum. Japers, we did your stuff. Mikey's gonna put the timestamp down.
Yeah.
Okay. So firth, rhythm. Do this lefty. Actually, posture, right? Below here, get over the shot. You're very upright, which makes the rhythm very hard to do. So actually 3 things: posture, rhythm, then coil. Right, so here. Now, from here, we want to glide through this, right? Instead of so like boom, 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 right? Trudge, 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 instead of boom, boom, boom. Actually, you pump forward when you go here. There it is. We want to glide through this. Part of that is I want you just to take your disc and I want you to keep it just centered here with your body. Don't do a pump here. And the reason for that is your pump's kind of screwing up other things. Right? So just stay here and just with me with good posture here. Go left, right, left. Right? We want staccato. He said, no, legato. Boop, boop, boop. Right? Just go through this footwork pattern. Notice everything's just together. Instead of when you go here and you pump here, you've got parts of your body going back and your left hand's going forward. It's just choppy. So we're just going to go no coiling, left, right, left, keeping everything here. Grab onto something if you need to. Sometimes I do it with a weight, just to encourage me to stay forward. Here. Right? If I was using a weight, I wouldn't want to go here and cross myself up like that. Alright, if anything, I would go whoop, maybe small pump, but I'd keep it central to the body. Right. I hope I'm right. I do have a degree in music education, so I could be in trouble if I was wrong. I wasn't that good of a student though, so I could definitely be wrong. Right, so here, without the coil, with the good posture, keep it calm. Now, add the coil. The coil happens once we're on our right. Now we turn. And even that is kind of a both hands together, going back kind of feel. Right? Everything's together. Boom, boom. And now, both hands back, right? And this hand can be here, can be here. There. I'm just getting a groove session in right here. But that's what we're looking for. Okay. Good posture. Flow through steps, keeping everything just nice and smooth. And then we're going to coil back on that final step. So we're going to say everything together, everything side on and together. And then we're going to go back and separate. pretty decent. Charles, we also did yours, I believe. Mikey will also give you a timestamp.
I think I told him a couple times actually. Let's see. Yeah, 33-minute timestamp, if you can just tell him.
Okay, 33-minute timestamp.
That's the second time.
Mikey didn't say this exactly. Yeah. But basically. What? Okay. Frank Fred. 87. His real name's Fred. He goes by Fred. Wonder if it's Frank is his first name. Ooh, I like. Liking a little less. Okay. Let's see why you're rolling onto this heel here. Oh, I think I could just go up here. Yeah, I can. Okay. So I think your initial steps are conflicting with your Oh, in Texas. He wasn't even in Florida.
No.
Is the rubber duck a dispenser, though? That's the question.
He hasn't got to that point yet. Spoilers.
Yeah, he's probably not even hearing me right now. He's watching his stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this step here, this like left step here is kind of sabotaging you because you're taking it across your right step. Come on now. Because you're taking it across here, and then you have to change directions and kind of almost forcing you to your heel here. Almost, I say, because you probably you could avoid like getting so backwards here, potentially, but it's definitely harder on you. So, oh, I have a T-pad here. So if you're finishing up that way, instead of starting with this first left step across this way, and then having to swing here, right, and now turn around to reorient this way, we should just start that way, right? If I'm trying to finish up there, well, you should just start here. And this left step should go a little bit left instead. Now we're here. Now our body has no need to swing around to reorient us up to the left. I can just go through. And now I can work on my coil, right? But the reason that your coil is a little bit lacking is because of your X step, right? And that's because you're walking this way first. And so now this has to swing here. In order to reorient, now you have to go here, which makes it really hard to actually coil as much as you should, which would look like this, right? So let's fix the direction of the walk up a little bit if we're trying to finish more leftward on the T-pad, starting from here, because our initial line is going that way apparently. It would be here, and now here, and now we can go straight through without rolling onto the heel. We can roll from the outside of this left foot kind of to the inside. And now, because we're here, and we don't have to focus on the directional change. At that point, you should focus on full coil, full space in your reach back versus where you're at here, right? You see in the picture, it's here. As your full reach back, like that, your feet are flared out, and you're here. So we need to get here instead. So fix that, the direction of that left step, don't cross over your right. Take that left step up the direction that you're going. So, boom, up the direction I'm going. Now this one's going to cross, is actually going to cross over the other way. So this is going to cross over my left. And then big coil. Frank. Next, Robo Rob. Robo Rob.
Robo Rob.
Yes, stay over it, just like this. Feel Niklas. Be one with him. Okay, so here your right arm's going back, apart from your shoulder going back. So all this beautiful space that you have right here, right? All that 104 degrees, we want to keep that as we go back. But you pinch a little bit here because you start moving your arm early of your shoulder. Attach the two, move the shoulder back, the arm goes back. Okay, let's see here. Wait, where is this walk up taking us? Yeah, and that's on the way to a bit more coil. Where are my tools? There. So there, a little bit more with the left shoulder towards the target, a little bit more with the right shoulder back. You can get further back, I think, there. And then let's see what's happening with this swing path. Yeah. Okay. So you have got to get the elbow out ahead of the body here. Right now you get back and your arm's very lazy. It's just like along for the ride. We do need to move the arm forward ahead of the shoulders. See here how he starts sliding that disc past the shoulders. You start swinging it out right away. So once you get here, you've got to start moving that disc past the body. Right, the elbow's got to start driving forward. Right, you got to curl the disc up, tickle the armpit. Right, hand on the back of the disc, moving forward so that you can move this past the body, not turn the body, and now the elbow is kind of stuck here, and then swinging out. And around like that. We want to go through the body, tight to the body. Keep it tight to the body as long as possible. So here, keep your hand on this part of the disc. You see how Simon still has it on that part of the disc? Through here, hand on that part of the disc for as long as possible. And then go. Keep going through. Right? So you have to work on getting your elbow out ahead of your body. Right? Getting your hand through the armpit before it starts moving around. Keep it tight as long as possible. Here. There. 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 Whoosh. Next is ran this.
Brand is there, though. Oh, he looks like Joseph when he was younger. That's crazy. Got the same bro.
You know what they call that?
You bro?
The Joseph bro?
Oh. I got faded, bro.
Yep. Hey, good start. I already like where it's headed. Okay, I see it coming. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's find the bad. You thought you were doing pretty good? Let's destroy your dreams. Lots of good stuff, really. Okay, gonna have to
What?
scoot on up here. When you see me like this,
You see the forehead? It's like he's going in.
no problem with the turn there. It's just a bit early, isn't it?
Well, I wish I could get in that position.
Right.
Holy smoke. I wish. I could go 80 right now.
It's kind of close to a Barella, isn't it? The way that it's left.
I've never seen any of our form reviews get that into like that much of a deep pocket.
Yeah, the way that his left hand is.
And he's keeping everything back. I'm gonna keep my head back as long as he is. I'm trying that. He literally keeps his head back as long as possible.
Right.
I'm trying that today.
I mean,
I'm trying that today.
how many Anthony Barella clips did this kid watch, you know?
That's crazy.
I don't have AB, but I've got this guy. So the big thing is, first, let's just appreciate how close that looks.
But this kid gets deeper than, for sure gets deeper than Wiggins.
Yeah.
He's like maybe deeper than AB. He is deeper than AB.
Right.
I don't think he'd be able to do that if he's throwing faster though.
Right. Yeah. Once he starts throwing faster, he's gonna have trouble getting that deep.
I think so, but who knows? What if he's falling?
What I mean, the only thing is he plants, like he starts moving the disc forward so much earlier than his foot is planted. I'm saying so much, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, by the time he's fully planted, he's already in his power pocket. Like, he's not planted there.
Right.
He's still rolling.
And boom. Right. So you've got to get to this position with your feet. So there's Wiggins fully planted, right? Still back. He's still in this position. So here, this position that you're at with your body, you've got to wait until this foot hits and gets fully in the ground. Let me see if there's a... So I was going to say earlier that this is within, like, your hips being this far back, this early, it happens with some guys that throw really far and they're flexible and they've been playing from a young age, blah, 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 things that you potentially have. But the downside is that you're already here, right? You're already this amount turned back, which... if you were just a little bit more forward with your X step, it would give you that extra time. It would give you that extra time. So if I'm here, right, this is an exaggerated version, but now I have to coil from here to back, right? But if I'm here, right, my hips are already back, now I'm here already coiled. Now I'm waiting this whole time, right? So that's what you're doing. You're full coil here in this frame, and now you're waiting for this whole time. So I would try to be less turned through your X step by a little bit. You don't need much, right? But instead of your hips being back almost all the way, get your hips back, you know, here. Not like 90 degrees back, but like 45 degrees back. Get through here, and then you have this extra time to coil, which makes the timing closer between your plant and your full extension, right? So when you get some of these bombers, they're like, yeah, I just try to make sure that I'm hitting full extension at the same time that the foot's hitting, right? You've got to work out that timing piece. My suggestion is probably the easiest way to do that is not get so backwards during your X step, not because you can't do it mobility-wise, but because I think you have a timing resource there that you can use to help that instead of just being like, okay, I'm back all the way, and now I'm waiting forever for this thing to hit, right? But I like it. I like your form a lot. Remember me.
All I know is I'm definitely trying that head.
Yeah.
If it'll produce that deep of a pocket, which I wonder if it will or it won't.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it all helps, right? In the Wiggins is that far back.
I didn't pay attention to that really at all.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Wiggins could for sure go.
Yeah, he did.
Go earlier. There's no reason that he couldn't pull his eyes up earlier.
Right.
Except for the fact that he just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Right? The shoulders are coming forward. It's like he makes no attempt to get the eyes like targetward or anything.
He did. His shoulders would follow.
Yeah. He wants no temptation there.
Yeah, he even keeps it kind of back behind them to the left a little bit.
Yep.
The other guy did.
Yep. He's just found a spectator staring into their soul. Yep. Okay. Sheesh already. Or she shall ready. She-esh already.
Already?
She-esh already. Bong, bong, bong. She got some good forearms. Those are some disc golf forearms right there. Okay.
Could be climbing.
It could be climbing. Could also be tennis. Could be a lot of things.
Sure.
But I'm claiming them for disc golf.
Claiming them for disc golf.
Okay, so personally, I'd like to see the arm move, like the elbow extension, be less active than it is, for the sake of the health of the elbow, first off. Second, I think your mind's, when we have that much activity in the arm, it's easy to mistake that activity for coil of the shoulders. So we've got a bit of a coil problem where here, let's compare. Whoop. Oh, it's not gonna give me trouble, is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Here we go. So the difference being here. This, you see how we see his logo on his back? Right, because he's got that left shoulder turned a bit more forward. Right, we've got to take your left shoulder, turn it a bit more forward. Also, your shoulders are kind of level. Right, so even for a flat shot for Simon, the coil feels like it goes underneath a bit with the right shoulder. I'm going to show all this standing up in a second. Yeah, and then that coil also, when those shoulders turn, it turns the obliques. We let it turn the hip a bit back. So the hips are facing a little bit backwards versus kind of straight. And that's also going to affect the knees, right? His knees turned in a bit, right? Yours is turned out. So I want to address coil, and I want to just calm down the extension of the arm. So you'll see here with Simon, he's throwing 450 and he doesn't even need full extension of the arm for that menial 450 feet that he's throwing there. Menial for him, of course. Okay, so let's take out this extension and let's work just kind of from here. Actually, I'm going to keep this centered up in the body, somewhere around kind of power pocket-esque. Right? And so when we go through here, I want to work on, okay, we're on our left foot here, over our shot. And now we're going to turn, we're going to just keep this attached here. Turn the shoulders. We're going to take that left shoulder all the way targetward so you can see any writing on my back. And here, I'm not extending yet because we're trying to quiet that down. I want to make sure that we get the full coil. So imagine Kristen, right? Kristen's kind of back here like this, right? Full shoulder turn, more important than her arm being extended, obviously, or else she would extend her arm. Here. Big turn, show me the writing on your back, if there is some. Big turn. Big turn, we're going to check in here, make sure that the knees are kind of in towards one another now, versus if we're swinging this front hip open clockwise. So instead of that, we're going to let it turn in a little bit counterclockwise to where the knee's pointing back. Now we have this position, right? So we're here. Big turn. Not popping here. Okay. So let's find this like extended position on the backswing. If we're here and we coil without extending at the elbow, head centered, I've got this right shoulder below my left because of my posture. Now I can keep my elbow here and extend. This is where I'm headed with my extension. So now we can do it in one move like that. Again, keeping the arm calm. All right. Those, I think, are the first two pieces we need to work on. Sean P. Texan. Bet you this guy's. Tell me you're a Florida man without telling me you're a Florida man. Look at that. That's why the pool was nicer, because he's actually in Texas.
That's it. That's gotta be it. Dude, house stuff is so much cheaper in Texas.
Yep.
Or at least though I've seen on that one TV show with the people. Yep.
I have heard it the same. Almost enough to make me want to move there. Almost. Intruder alert. You guys didn't think we were going to go a whole live stream without showing you Dakota, did you? Okay, let's get this X step figured out here. Dakota, come greet the people.
Dakota's a hurt man.
Greet the people.
This man.
You don't have to. Hurt people don't have to hurt people. That's just an excuse hurt people use to hurt other people.
Hurt people do. They spend all their money.
Like you never go to the doctor. So it's like you never go to the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor was actually helping, then I did something stupid.
Oh yeah. Everyone go to the doctor.
Okay, so this X step, I think I want to calm down your right hand as you go through this X, because you're pumping forward as you take this right step here, and then you're pulling back as you take your X, right? And if the upper body is moving back, it's really, really hard for the lower body to resist going back. So I think let's just remove that temptation and let's stay centered up here. Now let's go right with no turn, no movement of the disc. And then we're going to go through this left step, no turn, no movement of the disc. And as a matter of fact, before we even work on adding the coil in, let's just finish with the right step. So let's just practice both hands kind of on the disc here. And we're just going to go through this X step, simple little grapevine here. It's we're just traveling that way, just with a right, cross, right. Right, you're going to have some natural stagger here, so your foot can cross the other foot. Right, but it's this move. If we're holding something, there's no reason for us to try to turn the disc or move the disc here. It's just straight through. All right, that's all it is. Now, once we get that, we've got to decide, okay, when do we actually turn? When do we move the disc back? That happens during the final stride. So we go, this is not the first stride, or this is not the final stride, this is a stride where we're going to stay side on here. We're going to keep everything here, just like we just did, right? Again, no turning here. Okay, now we're on the final step. right? My right foot is ready to go. Now we can turn. Okay, we're just going to do all this with 2 hands on the disc so we get this unit created with the upper body. So we don't have one arm leading the revolution here. Revolution because you're turning around on your... Yep. Yep. Okay, here we go. Side on, now turn. Side on, lift the right, turn. Okay. Now we're going to try to do the correct posture, just emphasizing posture, I should say. Here, now turn. Okay, good posture. Now we can add an extension to the back. Right, left, extend. Yep, full turn with the shoulders. Lots of space back there now. Right, left, extend. All right, cyanide angst.
Tried and true.
Well, there are a couple people coaching in Austin, you know. You being one of them.
With the double knee going, I feel that.
Mikey's called you Colradolin because you're rolling off your back heel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to get quite this turned back. Here, I would avoid being this far back, being all the way turned around during your X step. So let's straighten up that X step first. Second, don't roll the disc up here. Don't roll the palm upwards at this point. Try to keep it in this kind of downward position. You don't really need any more extension or movement past that because your nose angle's getting scuffed. Right, because you're rolling out of it here. Okay, so first thing, X step. Okay, X step. Don't turn here. Just go through here. Right? So and now my hips, even though I didn't turn, I still got a little bit of turn back with the hips. Right? But you're turning back right there, right? And then you have to roll off this heel like we saw. So instead, don't turn, don't turn. Now we can turn. Okay? Don't turn, don't turn. Now we can turn. Okay? Like I'm expecting you to say okay back or something. Okay? Okay, maybe I'm just saying what the whole time. What? I am bilingual. Not really. Trilingual. If Spanish counts as me being bilingual, then I'm at least try 0.5 lingual. It's a joke because I'm not that good at Spanish. Okay, so that's first thing. Now, when you coil back here, I would recommend your palm being a little bit down instead of rolling back up here. Because if you roll back up here, your arm is probably not going to want to stay here the whole time. It's a pretty uncomfortable position for your arm to move through, right? Which is getting you this press at the end, which is the opposite way of what we want for nose down, right? So by having the disc down a little bit like this, by having the palm down a little bit like this, we encourage the correct roll, which would be rolling there, right, where the palm starts rolling a bit up, which would be nose down word, right? It would at least be that direction. So we want to have this move where it's here, not where we start here and, you know, slap it away. Get that corn out of my face, right? It's here. I would like some corn. So here we go. Don't turn. Don't turn. When we coil, hand down a little bit. And then when you throw, your hand's going to roll up into this semi-palm up position.
Calling Mark Lyford.
I did not ask you to do that.
That was great.
Semi-palm up position. She got Siri call Mark Lyford.
Is she gonna do it again? Stop it.
Yeah.
I gotta put a hey in front of it.
No, not anymore.
Oh. Yes, I basically know why. Because if you roll here and you're like this and you're side on, it's nose down. But if you have an over rotation problem and your shoulders didn't, like they kept moving, you kept pushing your shoulders, and now you're more chest forward, now it's not nose down, it's a flat nose angle Anheuser, right? As exhibited by me in this chair. It's a body problem. So, which is why I don't understand why people are like, turning the key is only for Anheisers. It's like, yeah, if you have crap form, it's here. That's for sure is an Anheuser if you over rotate and release at 12. But if you stay side on, it's nose down. Same position, over rotated, Anheuser. So the more out in front of you release, when you turn the key, the more towards Anheuser it goes. And the more closed you are, the more towards Heiser it goes. I'm not saying that this is a Heiser, I'm saying it's more towards Heiser than this. So, that wasn't, all of that obviously was not aimed at you, total lefty disc golf. But I'm addressing the community. I couldn't get the word congregation out of my head. I'm addressing the congregation. But that's why. And if you are a lefty, it's because you're releasing towards 12 instead of towards 11 or 10. So I would check the shoulders. They're probably too active. Congremunity. Yeah.
Complicated things are leading on essentially a church.
But you don't want me to. You don't want me preaching. I'm not qualified. All right. Well, it's been a long time since I chewed ice. Very cold. That's why I don't chew ice. Those are our form reviews. Like I said earlier, if you're interested in these, that's on our Patreon. That's our $15 our intermediate tiers. This happens twice a month. You get to pick which one you join. Also, for those people who are near Wilmington, North Carolina, this upcoming weekend, we have a clinic. We are partnering with Throw Coast. You can find them on Instagram. Last time I checked, there were like 10 spots left in the clinic. That happens Saturday morning. And then there's like a Q&A that happens later. So excited for that. If you're in the area or if you're close enough and you want to drive in, go to Throw Coast on Instagram. In their bio, they have a link to the event page. Sweet. Sean will be there. Woohoo! Absolutely. All right, friends. Peace.